As you can see, there's a lot more of them and more tightly packed in together than before. I'm gonna try and see if I can see the cluster. Okay, that whole area that's supposed to be trees and all the way to me is the same cluster. Now you can see how high up it is, and that it's right over a tree, clump of trees actually, and those are pretty tall trees. They're about 50 feet. I don't know the exact height to the inch, but they're about 50 feet tall. Okay, you see it going to particles like that? That thing is right here now, all over me probably, when it does that. It teleports its particles a whole kilometer or a kilometer and a half all the way to me. And you saw how fast it came here and went back into clusters back there. So these things are super fast, and I don't try and run away from them or anything, because that would be futile. So these things are multiplying right here on Earth. They're making more and more of themselves, and the atmosphere, the water, the soil, everything is being more and more saturated with these things. And I have no idea what their agenda is, but they look like they're unstoppable. After all, no one has made an attempt to stop them anyway. And I don't know how long they've been on Earth. It looks like they've been here all along, but now they're showing themselves more and more, and it's not easy to make a judgment about what they want or how long they've been here. But the way they're behaving, they don't seem to care too much about who sees them, and they're not worried about anyone standing in their way too much. Before they used to hide when I used to film them. Now they don't bother because there's so many of them. They just can't hide anymore. It's useless to hide because there's always some I can film that are active. There are millions of them, active clusters here in Toronto. I filmed this one because it's close and it's stationary, because it's just hovering there now for 4 months over that tree. It hasn't moved. Could have even attached itself to the tree, I don't know. And that's a private land there. It's a golf course for very rich individuals, and they have security, so I can't really get in and check it out. All I can do is take pictures from outside the fence. I'm not a member of their club. I have a feeling these entities are some sort of an insect type species, but very intelligent. Their entire social structure and behavior, not just now, but for all the years I've been watching them, has shown that they behave very much like insects, and their breeding and life cycles are very much like insects, like an insect colony, like ants or bees or any other social insect like that. All those green ones are going to be leaves. All those black ones will be the trunk and branches. And all those pink or reddish ones, they are going to be like a haze over the trees, so that you can't really get a clear picture of the tree when it's daylight. You get a haze, a sort of a milky haze over the trees. And I have lots of videos that show that before the leaves were supposed to be on. So all the trees in this area are just them. They are no longer trees. They can transform their form into any kind of a thing, living or non-living. For all I know, they could transform themselves into something like me, and there could be a double somewhere looking just like me, but it won't be me. It's a very serious matter. It has all kinds of consequences, repercussions. I can think of many things that aren't right about this whole thing, and it's an eerie feeling just watching them do this right in front of me, and on my own planet. They just come in and take over just like that. I don't see very much good coming out of all of this. In fact, I don't see any good coming out of all of this at all. I'm going to put this video on just the way it is. I'm not going to cut it or anything, or do anything to it. And it'll be just for people who are really interested to find out what's really going on all around them. And there's no gimmicks here. I'm not doing anything. I didn't make anything up. As you can see, that is on a golf course. That's how far away they are. And you saw before how fast they can teleport from there to me, faster than a blink of an eye. And look at all those organisms that are in the air, all over, all the way from me to there, which is about a kilometer and a half. You can just see the tremendous volume and numbers of organisms, and these are all intelligent beings, and they're all clusters. If they split up into smaller units, into smaller clusters, there'd be even more of them like I said, the clusters now are larger than they used to be. Before they were like as if you took flour and just spread it out in the air. That there are small clusters and just unimaginable number of them. Now there's an unimaginable number of them, just larger in size. Because there's so many, they have to make larger clusters. Just look at that. So this is not a doctored up film or anything like that. This is actual and factual video footage of alien entities right here in Toronto and on the ground. And as you can see, by on the ground I mean on trees or just above trees, on the ground itself, or just above trees in the air. And the atmosphere is so full of them that it's unimaginable how many are in the sky, under the clouds, in the clouds, and above the clouds, and that stretches in layers and layers and layers and layers. I don't know how many layers, I can't count that many, but it goes all the way past where the moon used to be, and it goes right through our entire solar system. So this has been an invasion of our entire solar system. The way they managed to come to Earth is because their magnetic field, the magnetosphere, was weakened, and there was a hole, very large hole in it, and they were able to get in. So this is the way they came to Earth in such large numbers, because before the magnetosphere, when it was complete, it used to protect us from things like this, and now they have a free way of coming in because the hole is still there. There's just more and more of them, both coming in and reproducing right here on the ground. The reproduction cycles are insect-like. They go through stages. I count 4. There could be more, but I counted 4 stages that they go through, just like insects here on Earth. And they have cocoons, and they have different stages where they develop, and the colors of the organisms also define different stages. The black ones are the oldest ones. Just look at all of them in the air. There's so many that it's unbelievable. And don't forget, all those trees are them. So eventually it's going to come down to either them or us, because not all of us can live on this planet, since the planet cannot provide enough resources for all of them and all of us. There's a population explosion in the human species, and these things have a population explosion before they even came, and now they're making more of themselves, and they're consuming all our natural resources, because they turn all the natural resources, living or non-living, into energy. Think of them as antimatter, because they are particles with an opposite charge. The clusters have an opposite charge. They even rotate counterclockwise. or revolve counterclockwise. They even rotate around their axis counterclockwise or around the axis of a cluster or the nucleus of a cluster. If you draw an axis line through it, they rotate around that counterclockwise. No matter how you look at it, they have a different charge, an opposite charge, and you can consider them antimatter. So they are slowly dissolving everything on this planet and taking the place of the things that they dissolve, at least for now, so that things don't look strange to us. I don't know what they're gonna do after. Okay, so I got my battery light. The battery's almost finished. That means I filmed for around an hour, and I'll just let it run out. You could just see that there's more and more coming down from the sky, and pretty soon they're going to form trees. Unfortunately, my battery will run out in a minute or so, and I can't show you that. I'll just back off to show what's happening. And you can see that the diameter of those clusters is at least 10 feet or more. And this is now in daylight. At night they go to 30, 40, 50 feet in diameter, because they shine more at night than in the daytime, since there's too much light, outside light. But you can still see that they're large. They're at least 10, 15 feet right now. And there's 3 large clusters right there in the same clump of trees. But in actuality, there are many large clusters all over those trees, or whatever those things are. They're not trees anymore. There are many large clusters all over, except that they are not active and they are not glowing at the moment. But they can all glow at an instant, in a millisecond. They can charge up and glow. Just look at how many organisms there are. This is in our air. And things don't look good. Not at all. There's just more and more of them every single hour, every single minute. They're at such a high frequency vibration cycle that they just multiply like it's going out of style, exponentially. You can see how fast they're revolving around that nucleus. And that's the reason why you can't see them in the daytime. They're transparent and they move so fast. They can form clusters, or if they unwind, they can form long chains. And the length and the size of the cluster can be infinitely long, or so minute that you can't even see it, smaller than a subatomic particle. It all depends what they decide to do, but they have full control over energy and can transmute that into matter. They can also be plasma, and they can be light. So being very intelligent as a species, they can do a whole lot of things, and they're interdimensional. Just gonna back it up. I think the battery's not gonna last much longer. It lasted more than a minute. I thought I only had a minute, but maybe I have a few minutes, not just one. I'll just let the battery run out.